Hey everyone, this is Ben, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about full A to Z step-by-step setup on how to set up your Klaviyo account. So you just got started, you just connected your Shopify, or maybe you haven't even connected your e-commerce platform. Doesn't matter. You don't need to buy a course, okay? Because all of the information is available for free for you on YouTube. I don't have a course, okay? You don't need a marketing, definitely don't need a marketing degree. All you need to do is just keep watching this video until the end, and you don't need to watch anything else, okay? So it's going to be a good investment for your time, and I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. So before I get started with that type of stuff, why should you even listen to me, right? You might be wondering if you haven't seen any of my other stuff. So yeah, I've been doing this for over 9 years. I'm a Klaviyo Platinum partner and our agency, and we've helped over 300 ecom brands, including two Fortune 500 companies, and they were pretty happy with our work. So if they were, then there's a good chance that you would be happy about our practices too. So if you follow everything that I tell you step by step, then you can also have results, beautiful results like these for your store, where you're making over 100K per month from Klaviyo, just the emails. So your store might be crushing it even more than that. You can see that there's like email and SMS in there. And speaking of SMS, so what I wanted to do is like tell you literally everything that you need to know. And what that means is like, I don't mean, like the most granular things that will maybe give you zero point 0.1 cent of a benefit over 1 year, or any of these like granular things that are not important when you're starting out with Klaviyo and email marketing, and you just want to make money with e-commerce. If that is the case, and you just want to set up some emails to kind of 80/20 your way, until maybe you're totally crushing it over 50K a month, and then you can hire maybe us or someone else to totally take care of your emails and kind of take them to the next level. Because at the beginning, you have to do a million things in your e-commerce brand. You have to do the ads. Maybe it will get shut down because Facebook updated again. Maybe your supplier in China is, I don't know, there's some weird issues there. Or maybe you're even not even shipping from China, and maybe you're creating the clothes from your basement like the Gymshark guy. So I'm going to tell you the only things that you will need to pay attention to, okay? If I don't mention something, it's because it's not that important, okay? And at the beginning, if you just want a guide to just tell you what will give you the actual results, the 20% input that will give you the 80% of the results, then watch this, because in all my other videos, I'll be talking about all the granular stuff, okay? All the advanced attractive strategies that is in Madman, and like all of these advanced things that you might be seeing some Instagram shorts on, or TikTok or whatever. So we'll talk about flows, campaigns, integrations, copywriting. How should you avoid the spam folder? Should you even pay attention to this? And is it overblown? Or maybe is it like, maybe people don't talk about it enough. Maybe it's like super big issue. Building a strong domain reputation. Like so many people talk about this. If you haven't heard it, like, should you have heard about it? Do you need a pro designer? Can you do it with Claude AI? So this is very 2026 specific, okay? What is the 80/20? Like pop-ups? Do I need does it ruin my website? Should I, like, what should I do? There's so much advice out there, and it's completely contradicting each other. And when to add SMS. And I will also mention some things that we've done to, let's say, lower the probability that our clients would go to jail. This is definitely not legal advice, okay? It's just, there's just a few best practices that if you do, you lower the chance that you can kind of get into trouble, because there's quite a lot of things into it. So with that being the case, with a longer introduction than what I wanted to do, let's jump straight into it, okay? And by the way, just a quick thing. So when you want to install Klaviyo, make sure to use my link in the description, all right? So once you've done that, and you filled out the questionnaire, you added your details. It's not super important. Just add in your details, your address, business name, stuff like that. I'll make another video about if that's something. If that is something that you already struggle with, then just make sure you send me a message. There's a bunch of links in the description. But let's just say that you got here. Okay, so it says like whatever your revenue has been, maybe it's zero, totally fine, and there's going to be like no flows in here. There's not going to be anything. There's going to be some templates and like all of these things. Klaviyo is actually quite friendly with you in terms of the dashboard, but you're just going to see something like this. Okay, so you can see a bunch of things already added in here. So make sure please that your integration is connected. So you should be connected to whatever platform you are using. So many of them, so many of you guys are going to need to use Shopify. All right, so if it's Shopify, then make sure it's enabled, and then we're good to go. So since you can see so many things in here, what should you even start with, right? So there's like campaigns like, oh, I want to send Black Friday, like Black Friday is coming up maybe soon, I want to send some campaigns. So don't do that, please. Okay, you have to start with the flows. All right, so you're going to come to the flows, and then the good thing is that Klaviyo will give you some basic templates. All right, so you're going to see there's a bunch of things here. So in my opinion, with what you should be starting with is the abandoned cart flow. All right, so the reason why you want to start with the abandoned cart flow is in most niches, unless maybe if you're like coffee niche or like something like that, where supplement brands, but we're going to talk about that too. If it's like a supplement brand, then actually post purchase becomes almost as important, or if not more important, depending on your business again, as pre-purchase. So you got to be thinking about like, your flows are, some of them are going to be before somebody made a purchase, some of them are going to be after someone made a purchase. All right, so with that being the case, let's say that you're not selling coffee, and even if you're selling coffee, you should have an abandoned cart flow, right? So you're going to click here. Okay, this is all fine. Use template. All right, and then the trigger of this is going to be checkout started. So people call it abandoned cart flow, some people call it abandoned checkout flow. Actually, it kind of depends on the trigger. Without making this too complex for you, basically you can also add a different trigger, which is added to cart, because there's a difference. If somebody goes into your store and then they just add something to cart, then they might not immediately go to the checkout page. They need to go to cart and then continue to checkout. So once they went to that continue to checkout page, that's when this information will be passed on to Klaviyo, and then you're going to see this. So this setup is actually incorrect, just in my opinion, because not all of you will want to use SMS, like especially if you're not selling in the US, for example. Then SMS, for example, SMS is really expensive in Hungary, in my home country. All right. So in my opinion, what you should do is, okay, you have this flow. You should allow re-enter, in my opinion. So there's so much like, oh, it depends. like no, yeah, it does, but like I just want to give you I just don't want you to think. You don't need to think about, oh, should I allow re-entry? Like all of these granular minimal things, you shouldn't worry about. Okay, so the default setting is allow re-entry 7 days. That's fine. So if somebody abandons their cart or abandons their checkout and then they return, then you should, in my opinion, allow them to come back into this flow if they checkout started 7 days later again. So you want to wait 4 hours because maybe they made a purchase, right? So you come here, like place order 0 times since starting this flow. So you want this as a profile filter because this is going to filter out people who have actually placed an order. All right. And then you're going to wait 4 hours, abandoned cart email 1. And I'll be honest with you. So you should add some kind of preview text. In my opinion, curiosity or something benefit based works really well in preview text and also subject lines. We saved it for you. So for example, like I like using brackets. It's a small thing because it's like a counterintuitive thing for humans psychologically, because it's gonna actually draw attention instead of taking it away. So yeah, you're gonna have some kind of a basic shitty email template that Klaviyo has built for you. And to be honest with you, so just one or two sentences is enough. Okay, so all you have to make sure, in my opinion, is that this email, you don't need to worry about, oh, this email looks ugly, like all of this. Okay, like this one is actually, they built a really bad one, in my opinion, because the text is in white, for example. Sometimes they do that. Okay, if maybe you set up something um, in the setup where maybe you told them that some of the text on your website is white, so then it's going to be white and it's kind of like weird. All right, so don't let your items slip away. Back to cart. Yeah, and then you want to, for example, preview it. And in my opinion, I'll be honest with you, so you should have your logo in there, and then back to cart, and then that link should lead to your store page, right? So as long as that's the case, and there's, the item, it comes up, there's some, I had some like made up products in here. So yeah, with that being the case, yeah, I personally don't like this M dashes. Maybe you should remove them, but otherwise it's kind of good to go. Logo, this text is okay. I've made a much more extensive abandoned checkout flow explainer video, which you can see in my channel, and just click on my channel and search abandoned cart or abandoned checkout. It will come up. And if you want to go the extra mile there, you can. And then just make sure that the links lead back to your website. Okay, I know that this might be underwhelming advice, but we don't have much time in this video. And also, it's just what I've seen, where it's like email marketing is a disruptive tool. So you need to think about the MPC, the minimum MVP. I'm sorry, minimum viable product, right? So that being the case, then you will have to just, yeah, once you're kind of content with this, please don't spend more than 20 minutes per email. But honestly, if you spend like, I don't know, even 10 seconds on an email, it's fine. All right. And at the beginning, just 2 emails is fine as well. Okay. So again, if you want to take the extra mile, you can add more and discounts and all of this stuff. But at the beginning, you just want to have the most important things. And that is making sure that you're actually sending an email. All right. And then that it's being sent and the links lead to the right page. Because the reason why I'm oversimplifying this for you is because I've seen so many people who focus on the most advanced copywriting tricks and one sentence per line and short sentences, and make sure you click here to whatever, take away the downside and all of these like marketing best practices, but then their link doesn't work, or their link goes to another page, or some stupid stuff like that, because you focus on the advanced things. Don't focus on the advanced things. Okay, simple scales, fancy fails, right? And then once you're done with the abandoned checkout flow, make sure that you create, you can call it shipping confirmation or just post-purchase flow, and then you can add shipping details. You can have it separate, whatever way you want. You just want to have one shipping confirmation email. There will be one going out automatically from Shopify too, if you're using Shopify. And you also want to create, let me just create a post-purchase flow. All right. So yeah, so you want to create a post-purchase flow, and you want to see you're going to see it here, post-purchase follow-up, all right? Order count split, and then the trigger is going to be placed order. And yeah, in here again, in my opinion, you don't even need to separate and do all of this complicated stuff. You can just have 2 emails that thank them for their purchase. And depending on your niche, again, if you're in supplements or something consumable like skincare, then you should encourage repeat purchases. But if you're selling $2,000 couches, then maybe just like 2 emails is fine, just thanking them and just being friendly. Because if you're selling $2,000 couches, you should have more emails sent to people who haven't purchased yet. Okay, you should just focus more on them, because you're just not going to get that many repeat purchases because of the nature of your niche. So again, check the other videos for more info on that one, or just if you want to go the extra mile. But honestly, just to summarize everything until now, that we hit 15 minutes. So you want, like, if I was to oversimplify everything that you need, okay? So in the first month, you don't need campaigns. You don't need campaigns, integrations. You just need the Shopify one. You don't need to be a crazy good copywriter. You don't, like, it's great if you know copywriting, and I'm sure you do, because if you're watching this video and you're setting up your own Klaviyo, chances are you know copywriting because you do your own ads. You don't need to worry too much about the spam folder yet, as long as you've set up your branded sending domain stuff. Okay, so that one, we might have skipped over it because it just happened that way. Klaviyo branded sending domain. Okay, so you have to connect there's a explainer on this one. If Klaviyo does a good job of, if you're missing something on your account, then it's going to show up at the top of your screen, all right? And like with like yellow colors and like all of this stuff. But if your Klaviyo dashboard looks like the one that I'm showing you, then it's already done. But if you haven't done it, you probably need to do this. Okay? So yeah, you cannot send emails from like a gmail.com. That gets to be your domain, all right? Yeah, and then just add these records to your DNS profile, and then you should be good to go. And then just coming back to the checklist here. So again, building a strong domain reputation. So the way you're going to do this is actually by activating the flows. Okay. So at first you will activate abandoned, checkout, and post-purchase flow. Okay. And just 2 emails in each, totally fine. And the reason why this works is because these are the 2 flows that will give you the highest level of engagement. Because if somebody just purchased something, this is the time when they're going to be most likely to open your emails. All right. And apart from that, so pop-ups. So this is, again, up to you. If you, in my opinion, you should have discounts, or you should be able to offer at least 10% off. If you cannot offer 10% off, your margins aren't high enough. So then you should charge higher for your products that you're selling. If it's not possible, then you're just in a constant uphill battle, because yeah, you should have higher margins than that. So you should be able to offer 10% off, in my opinion. You don't need to offer it to everybody. So we always, that's kind of like a delay, maybe 30 seconds is enough, right? And yeah, just, hey, do you want 10% off? You don't need anything else on the pop-up, right? So yeah, you can get started, for example, pop-up, next, higher conversion, okay, include a teaser. In general, you can follow the best practices that Klaviyo gives you, apart from this abandoned cart first email stuff, which is really weird that they would replace the first email with an SMS. In my opinion, it should be both. If you accept SMS, again, Klaviyo will guide you how to do that exactly. And also I have another video on this one. Use a coupon code, yeah. Select coupon. So yeah, just actually, yeah, let's just create our own, okay? And then, I don't know, welcome 10. Ideally, you shouldn't use welcome 10 because everyone uses it and it's bad and everyone knows and people will know about it. Send time, and yeah, this is fine. Yes. And then next, yeah, just coupon like this is okay. Yeah, and it's building. Yeah, and honestly, something like this is fine. You don't need the image, by the way. No image. Better, way better. So yeah, and maybe instead of sign me up, you could say, oh yeah, edit form. Maybe you could say get 10% off, like say the benefit. Get 10% off, and then publish or schedule, and then you're good to go. And then actually, before you do this, they keep changing these things. Targeting and behavior. Don't show to existing Klaviyo profiles. Display. So in my opinion, you should have like a 30-second delay, all right? Because we don't want to share it to everybody. And then you're good to go. Make sure that you connect this to your welcome flow if you want to create one. That would be the 3rd most important flow, in my opinion, that you should create. So yeah, and then in that flow, you can offer the 10% off, right? And just coming back to our checklist. So we talked very briefly about all these things. You don't really need to worry about SMS. Maybe you can enable it, it's free, and that way you can collect SMS subscribers. you will need a little checkbox on your checkout page that tells them, hey, you agree to receive SMS from us by giving us your phone number. And a very similar thing with email, okay? Like just you should have a checkbox, and it cannot be ticked in because it's illegal. Especially outside the US. It's actually interesting. If you're from the US and you think there's a lot of rules in the US, so try being from Europe, okay? There's a lot more regulation there going on. So yeah, this was a very brief video. If there was an area of this video that you're like, oh, I need more info on this, you kind of like jumped through this one or like went too fast, then make sure you check my channel because chances are there's going to be information about that there. But honestly, if you just set up your Klaviyo, if you want to spend 10 minutes on it, it's enough because it's going to make you some money. All right. Just to give you some results. All right. That's all you need. And then you can get back to more important things. And then if you turn on the flows, and then maybe you sent a couple campaigns in month 2, okay, don't send a campaign first. Then you're still not getting at least like 10% revenue from Klaviyo, then come back, you can message me, and also then you can kind of like come back to it and maybe refine some of the things. But honestly, 2 abandoned cart emails, 2 post-purchase emails, and maybe if you want to go the extra mile, you can have a pop-up with 10% off and the welcome series, and you're already in the zone. And if your links work, okay, make sure your links work. Okay, links work. Have an address at the bottom of your email. Klaviyo already adds all of these things for you. So basically, Klaviyo gives you everything. Just activate it, okay, and just make sure that the links work. All right. So that was a very brief video about this. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.